conversation. You're very young. I don't want to hurt you. There are lots of ways to live inside a tragedy. Do you hear them?
Welcome to Arts 24 and our first cinema show of 2025. And for that, I'm joined by critic Emma Jones. Hi, Emma.
Hello.
Now, you're telling us about the latest new releases, but also movie news, a big night in the world of international film. The Golden Globes, of course, seen as a major predictor for the Oscars. It was a French co-production, a musical about a Mexican drug baron who changes gender, Emilia Perez, that was a big winner of the evening with 4 Golden Globes. Emma, did anyone see that coming?
I know, well, it won big at Cannes and also at the European Film Awards. But to be honest, when it came to the USA, I really thought Emilia Perez was going to lose out to a better known musical. That's Wicked Part 1.
Course, yeah.
It is by renowned French author Jacques Audiard, and it is also in Spanish. But the film not only picked up Best Film not in the English language, but it also won Best Musical or Comedy. So let's hear from Jacques Audiard.
It's a complex project for me because I didn't know anything about musicals. It's been a long time coming, very long, very tiring, very exciting. And now, when I come out of a project, as usual, I don't really know if it's a success or not. I never have, actually. This is not a posture, I don't know. So feedback from the public tells me if it worked out or not. And I think it has.
And just to say that Zoe Saldana also won in the Best Supporting Actress category. The film also picked up Best Original Song. So really, Olivia, it's got to be a front runner for the Oscar nominations now. And indeed, if the lead actress, Carla Sofia Gascon, gets nominated, she will make movie history as a trans actress.
Wow, so good for the French movie industry as well, though. Another good news for another French film, The Substance, because its star Demi Moore took home the prize for Best Actress in a musical or comedy.
Yeah, she did. She beat Cynthia Erivo in Wicked, also Honora's Mikey Madison and Carla Sofia Gascon. To win in that category. And really, it's such a good comeback story, isn't it? And Hollywood loves a comeback story. 62-year-old Demi Moore definitely fulfills that, if you remember all her great leading roles in the 1980s and 1990s. But it took a French director, Coralie Faja, to really see the potential and create this part for her.
Yeah, indeed. Well, Coralie Faja had a hunch that the film, and that character in particular, could really speak to a very wide audience. Here's more from her.
To be perfectly honest, when I was writing my movie, a voice was telling me, this movie, if I can make it right, I can provoke something strong, because I think it's such a powerful topic, so universal, that touches our human soul, our human body, that defines what it is to be human, and all of the fears that comes with it.
So off the back of this, Demi Moore must be a real contender for Best Actress Oscar, just as Adrien Brody is probably a big contender for the Oscar for Best Actor, if we're predicting, because he picked up the Golden Globe in the drama category for The Brutalist.
Oh yeah, and indeed, that was a bit of a surprise, a night of big surprises then, because The Brutalist was also named Best Drama. Its director, Brady Corbet, won Best Director. And this is definitely not a blockbuster. It's the story of a Hungarian architect in post-war America. Let's get a feel for the film.
Tell me, why is an accomplished foreign architect shoveling coal here in Philadelphia?
I'm afraid it is not so simple. There was a war on, and yet many of the sites of my projects had survived. My buildings were devised to endure such erosion of shoreline.
So, things you need to know about The Brutalist. It's 3 hours and 35 minutes long, backside numbing, yes. It does have an intermission, though, built in as well.
Necessary for a stop at the loo, perhaps.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also out in France on February the 12th. And really, there is a stellar performance from Adrien Brody at the heart of it. He is playing the Holocaust survivor and architect Laszlo Toth. And I really think that The Brutalist winning big, shows at the Golden Globes, new voters. Remember, it had a bit of a shake-up a couple of years ago. They are critics who are really choosing international films. We also saw this in the Best Animation category, for example, when a tiny little drama called Flow, lovely little animation about a cat, by Latvian director Gins Zilabaloudis. Now, that one over Inside Out 2.
Wow.
And then Wicked, Part 1, that big juggernaut, had to content itself with the Cinematic and Box Office Achievement Prize.
Okay, so the Golden Globes could be broadening their horizons intellectually, perhaps. Also, the winner of Best Actress in a drama category was Brazilian actress Fernanda Torres for her part in the hard-hitting Walter Salles drama I'm Still Here.
Oh, yes. And, this is one of the best films of the year, in my opinion. And she beat Angelina Jolie in Maria and Nicole Kidman in Babygirl in order to take that prize. The movie is actually out in France next week. Now, this is the true story of the disappearance of Brazilian Congressman Rubens Pavia in 1971 when Brazil was ruled by military junta, and Fernanda Torres was playing Eunice Pavia, the wife. Why don't we just take a look at what to expect with that film?
O meu marido tá em perigo. Todo mundo tá em perigo, Eunice.
Brasília tá pegando fogo. Os milicos vão cair matando.
Olha, a tática do desaparecimento é uma das mais cruéis. Como é que alguém entra na tua casa, leva o teu marido, leva ele preso e depois diz, sumiu?
And as you mentioned, a lot of Oscars buzz for that film, which has certainly prompted debate in Brazil as well. Well, you mentioned Nicole Kidman didn't win the Best Actress for it, but Babygirl is released next week in France. This comes from Dutch filmmaker Helena Rijn, who previously made the Gen Z murder drama Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Now, Babygirl is the story of an executive, played by Kidman, who has an affair with her intern, played by Harris Dickinson. Let's take a look.
How'd you get that dog to calm down?
Good girl. I gave it a cookie.
You always have cookies on you.
Why, do you want one?
Being a CEO means being a nurturer and a collaborator.
Good.
No! What?
Is that what you want?
I have these fantasies.
What do you mean? It's about giving and taking power.
So, Emma, this film's had quite a lot of hype. It's seen as a bit controversial in Hollywood terms. Why is that?
Well, I think because it's a relatively frank show and tell in Hollywood terms about sex. And it also features that still quite rare on-screen combination, which is a woman over 50 paired with a much younger man. However, I'm not sure a French audience is going to really find this film provocative or even sexually edgy. I think French and European cinema generally isn't afraid to explore these kind of topics. And I'm thinking, maybe of a film like 2001, The Piano Teacher by Michael Haneke, starring Isabelle Huppert. I think it's because it's Nicole Kidman playing this role. She plays a female boss who's irresistibly attracted to her intern Samuel, played by Harris Dickinson, and the character Romy discovers that she likes to be dominated by him. I do appreciate that it has got a certain shock factor to it because we see Nicole Kidman in her character. We get a glimpse of her having Botox, and also she fakes an orgasm, during the film as well.
Well, perhaps on-screen Botox is the more shocking of those two. Well, perhaps also it's a film with more of a European sensibility, and Nicole Kidman's been talking about that in recent interviews.
Obviously, I have a European director, so that gives it a different flavour. The way she approaches the work is very European, but the genre is a very particular genre because it's particularly in American movies. That erotic thriller is some of the films that we all grew up on. And so to have her subvert that was what was really interesting.
Well, she did get the Best Actress prize at Venice for that film. So does Nicole Kidman's performance make Babygirl worth a watch?
Yes, her performance is definitely worth considering the price of a ticket, as is Harris Dickinson's and Antonio Banderas, because he's in the film too. He plays Romy's luckless husband. But beyond the performances, I'm not really sure that you can get more invested in the story. You know, when this affair inevitably, sorry, plot spoiler, goes wrong, you know, I'm not sure you feel particularly sorry for these, you know, ultra wealthy people, and you don't feel that sorry for the intern either, in my opinion. So Babygirl, I feel it wants to be provocative. I feel it considers itself to be a provocative film, but it also feels like it's trying. Now, and as you saw in the film clip that we played earlier, Samuel gets Romy's attention by taming a dog in the street, and he seems to do the same for her. I'm not sure that's particularly empowering.
OK, well, let's see how it goes down with European audiences. Well, finally, to this year's winner of the Venice Film Festival's Golden Lion, which is out in France this week. It's Pedro Almodovar's The Room Next Door. This is his first English language feature film. For it to win the Golden Lion at Venice, of course, does suggest a very high standard. Emma, what did you think of it?
It is absolutely superb, and I think it's probably it is his first English language film, but it's probably his best film since 2011's A Skin I Live In. And it's got a very good story. Almodovar has he's adapted a Sigrid Nunez novel, What Are You Going Through? And it has a small but stellar cast. If you think Tilda Swinton, Julianne Moore and John Turturro in a supporting role. But the topic the film deals with, you know, isn't an easy one. Swinton plays Martha, a journalist. She's got incurable cancer. She wants to choose the time of her dying, and so she enlists the help of a friend, Ingrid, played by Julianne Moore, in order to help her achieve this. It's not a sad film, though. It has this director's trademark colour and a lot of his trademark ironic humour too.
OK, sounds quite understated. I look forward to seeing it, indeed. Well, thank you very much for that roundup this week, Emma. We'll leave you with a glimpse of that touching friendship as depicted by Tilda Swinton and Julianne Moore in The Room Next Door. Do join us next time here on Arts 24 for more movies, arts and culture. You can also catch our shows on our website too.
I will not go out in mortifying anguish.
I don't know what to say.
I'm hoping you'll say yes.
Yes to what?
You're gonna need a lawyer.
No, this is an absolute secret. I'll sleep with my door open, and the day that you find it closed is the day it's already happened.